What's your focus? What's your fuel? What's your focus? What's your fuel? Before we end this talk, I invited someone to give a short sharing about how he found his purpose, how he got so aligned to God's plan for his life. And he is a life coach, and he's helping thousands of people. He goes around the world, and we're so blessed that we have him here. And this guy is a friend of the feast, and we are so blessed na nandito siya. He was the speaker of the Gathering in God ng singles namin last week. So it was a fantastic time. Sabi namin na parang sa sobrang galing na ginagawa ni Lord sa kanya, kailangan natin dalhin yan sa session ngayong 9 a.m. And we're so thankful he's available today. Could we give a big hand to Coach Randy Casguero? Louder, please.
Thank you. Raise your hand if you want to build your own business. If you want to have your own business. Great, fantastic. You know, when you want to have your own business, one of the things that people think about is you need capital, yes? Pero akala ng tao, when you have capital, the only thing that you need to have is financial capital. Pero actually, what you can give to your business is also something that's not money. It's called human capital. Yes? That's your talent, that's your skill, that's your gift. And the Lord has blessed me to find out that one of my human capitals in life is speaking. And God has blessed me so much that He has given me the talent of speaking. And when you give out your gift, here's the problem. There's two things that stop you from bringing out that gift. So Doc Dieter was talking about give your greatness to the world. But there are a lot of things that stop you from giving those gifts out into the world. Can I tell you the two things? Number one, when you're criticized. Number two, pag walang bumibili. Tama ba? And I'll tell you the first one. When I was younger, 8 years ago, I started in my career as a speaker and as a consultant. And as an idealistic young man, what I wanted to do was touch base with some of the best speakers in the Philippines. And that's where I wanted to learn, because I can only be the best if I touch base with the best. And so I found one person who I admired the most, and I was blessed to have the chance to speak to him, and he gave me time, and he gave me advice, and he was listening. I was telling him I wanted to be a speaker as well, just like you, sir, and I was telling him, and this, I remember up to now, I could never forget what he told me. Sabi niya sa akin, Randy, bakit may makikinig sa'yo? And I thought, if I interpreted it that way, he said, why would anyone want to listen to you? That was his exact words. And I could have approached it two ways. Number one, I could have said, oo nga, sige po, uuwi na po ako. Salamat po. That could have been the approach of a lot of people. Yes? I could have taken it that way. Wala pala akong dahilan para makinig ang ibang tao sa akin. Uwi na lang po ako, salamat po. Magsasaka na lang po ako sa aming baryo. But I took it the other way. I heard there was a line underneath that phrase that said, rather than become a criticism, and you know sometimes when you have a gift, the people who criticize you are the people sometimes who are closest to you. Yes? Minsan ang mga taong hindi naniniwala sa iyo, kung sino pa yung pinakamalapit sa iyo. Ang nanay mo, bakit ka kakanta? And so people start to doubt you. At sabi nga, no, a prophet is not being listened to in his own house. And so that is what happens. The people that I trust, I idolize, they were the ones who first criticized me. But I looked at it on a different perspective. I looked at it this way. What do I have that I can build, that I can share with other people, so that other people will listen to me? I looked at it from a different perspective. And so I tried to build my name, build my character, build my experience, so that I can tell stories that people want to listen to. But if I took it the wrong way, I took criticism the different way, I wouldn't be here right in front of you wonderful people right now. So thank you very much for that criticism. Number two, ang hirap ipagpatuloy ilabas ang talent at gift mo pag walang bumibili. Tama? Raise your hand if you love to bake. Bake. Raise your hand if you love to cook. Yes? Raise your hand if you play an instrument and write songs. Yes? And sometimes when you have a song and you have a recipe and you have a cupcake, walang bumibili. Ayoko na. This is not for me. But that's the problem. Sometimes we get discouraged pag walang bumibili. Pero the problem is we're too nearsighted. Sometimes we think sa unang laban, the first thing when you put it out, walang bumibili, then this is not for me. Have you heard of the band called the Beatles? Have you heard of them? There was a story written about the Beatles. They're the greatest band of all time. But did you know that a background story of the Beatles was this? They actually played in Munich, Germany for several years, non-stop, every day. And they were just playing there. They were an unknown band. At kaya, as they were performing every single day, gumaling sila ng gumaling sa craft nila hanggang sa when they came back with an album, they suddenly became a sensation. Doon nagmula ang kantang 8 Days a Week. When they were playing every day in Munich and they were perfecting their music. Sometimes when you look at Didoy, sometimes when you look at Brother Bo, you only see the gift of speaking. But nobody sees the number of hours and years that they were speaking that no one was listening to them. Are you seeing me here? When Brother Bo started this ministry, no one was listening to him. He did not have a crowd like this. But the years went by that you perfected your craft, he could have said, ayoko na, walang nakikinig. In the same way, when you have a recipe, when you have a cupcake, when you have a song, keep on going. Why? Because there will be people who will appreciate what you have, who will appreciate that recipe, who will appreciate that song. And they will be the ones telling other people how amazing your God's handiwork is. But if I did not listen the wrong way, I listened to my mentor and I got it the wrong way, I wouldn't be here speaking to you right now and trying to serve other people. In the same way, when I started to look at that message, why would people want to listen to you? Why would people want to eat your recipe? Why would people want to have your cupcake? Look at it the good way. Because when you look at it the positive way, you start to build yourself. And you put in the years of hard work so that you can get to a place where you can be the epitome of God's handiwork. And I'm thankful I heard it the right way. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. God bless you.
How about we give a big hand again to Coach Randy Esquera. Amazing.